Now, I'm sure if I continue to talk about Final Fantasy and what I would like to see before every major gaming event, then surely I will get what I want, right? Probably not, but I really do enjoy the discussion. I love to see where you are all at. I love to see where the fandom is at this time and what people would like to see. And of course, I love talking about what I would like to see and my hopes and copes for the future of Final Fantasy. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the possibility of Final Fantasy having a presence at the Game Awards 2024. So with that all being said, what is up guys? Jen here. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. As always, got you covered with timestamps because we're going to be going over a couple of subjects here. It's all down there in the description box down below. All I ask is you to support the channel and hit that like button. And if you want to stick around for some more Final Fantasy content, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. Now, before we dive into the subject of Final Fantasy, I think it's important to talk about Square Enix first, because usually we know what Square Enix is going to be bringing to the table during a year, and we get more announcements within that year. But as of right now, we know nothing. There are only 4 games that we know are happening, and only one of them has a release window. So let's get those out of the way. We have Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake, and that's coming out early 2025, I believe. And of course, this is the follow-up to the Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D Remake. Sticking on the subject of Dragon Quest, we know that Dragon Quest 12 is a thing. It's been announced, we know it's coming, we just don't know when. Moving on to the other pillars of Square Enix, Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3, we know is happening. It's the final part of the trilogy. We don't have a window, but it is a game that is guaranteed. And the final one is Kingdom Hearts 4. We've seen a trailer, but we know nothing about a release window. These are the only games right now that we know when it comes to Square Enix. So I would expect that if there isn't a Final Fantasy presence at the Game Awards, that there's going to be a Square Enix presence at the Game Awards. What that might be, I don't really know. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below, but let's move on to Final Fantasy. I'm going to start off with the obvious one, the rumor that has been going off for a long time now. I've made dedicated videos to this, and you can find the latest one in the cards in the top corner, but I'm talking about Final Fantasy IX Remake. Now, it's celebrating its 25th anniversary next year, and I feel like if this rumor is true, then it is probably the right time to release the game. Perfect for marketing, and just probably a perfect time overall to release Final Fantasy IX Remake. But how do you announce it? I feel like the Game Awards personally would be the best time to start setting up marketing for it. You do an announcement, and then as we head into April next year, we start the marketing and get release dates, etc, etc. But I might be wrong. I feel like if we don't hear anything Final Fantasy IX Remake related, then we ain't gonna get it for its 25th anniversary, and maybe it's something that we need to finally lay to rest. But I do believe between now and April, we are going to hear something. And maybe I am holding on to a lot of cope here, but I do think this is a project that has been and is being worked on at Square Enix. We just don't know what their plan is. But me being me, I think, again, the 25th anniversary is a perfect way to celebrate that game. So I don't want to spend the whole video talking about Final Fantasy IX Remake, because I feel like a bit of a broken record, because we just truly have not heard anything apart from leaks. So let's move on to something else, and I would like to talk about the Final Fantasy VII Remake project. No, we are not going to hear anything about Part 3 here, but the biggest possibility and something that I think will happen with it having a big presence at the Game Awards is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and its PC release. Whether this is something that gets released within the month, because we've seen Square Enix do it in the past with Final Fantasy 16, or simply they might time it with the year anniversary of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But I digress. I think that this is probably the perfect time to announce a PC port. There is going to be a lot of eyes on the game. It's probably going to get a lot of awards during the Game Awards. So I think that everything fits in quite nicely. And we do know that back in June, Jeff Keighley did indeed visit the Square Enix offices developers and met with the producers and directors of the Final Fantasy VII Remake project. The more I think about it, the more I truly think that this is a guaranteed thing to happen at the Game Awards. But I'm gonna go outside the box quite a bit, and this is probably the biggest cope because we have had it confirmed many times by the actual developers of the game, but there's always that 0.001 chance of it happening, and that's not only do we get the PC announcement, but we need to entice something for maybe people that want a double dip. And I think extra content or a little bit of DLC, whether it's a story DLC like Intergrade, could actually happen. And yes, you're probably all commenting, but Jen, we've heard it from the developers. They've said no. And I agree. Again, I'm just holding on to that 0.0001% chance that it could happen, but it probably won't. I can hold my hands up to that one. But you've heard it first here if it does indeed happen. Now, when it comes to the other things like a Final Fantasy 13 trilogy, remaster, and Final Fantasy Tactics remastered or remake, or whatever the rumor is at the moment, I don't think we're going to hear anything from these. I think the strongest candidate of everything that we talked about is probably the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth PC port, but you never know. Is there any surprise announcements or copium announcements that you would like to see when it relates to Final Fantasy? Could we finally see a Queen's Blood mobile game announcement here at the Game Awards? I don't know. Anything could happen, but at the same time, nothing could happen. I'm just open for the discussion and for you to probably tell me to calm down, Jen. You're wrong. Keep your expectations low. I want to tell you that my expectations are pretty low. They are pretty tame, but I can't help, as a fan, to always be excited for the possibility of an announcement. So I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section down below. I'll be watching the Game Awards. I'll be hoping that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth does pick up some awards during the event, and we'll see if there are any announcements. I appreciate your time, and until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.